Chapter 1. The Weight of Loss. Today was the saddest day in Sebastian's life. Nothing could prepare him for it. The rain fell in a steady rhythm, a soft tapping against the cold, hard earth as the mourners gathered around the freshly dug grave. The sky, a heavy blanket of gray, reflected the sad mood of the occasion. Sebastian Blackwood stood alone, feeling so isolated even among the huge crowd, with his black coat wrapped tightly around his broad shoulders. His expression was hollow, hidden behind a mask that concealed the deep sadness erupting inside him. He was a man accustomed to being in control. He was always in full control of his emotions, his empire, and his life. But today, that control felt like a distant memory, slipping through his fingers like the raindrops that dampened his hair. The man who had risen from nothing to amass a fortune that spanned continents was now reduced to a broken soul, mourning the loss of the one thing he could never replace: his beloved wife Alice. Sebastian's journey to wealth had been nothing short of extraordinary. Born to a working-class family in a small, forgotten town, his early life was one of struggle and determination. His father, a factory worker, and his mother, a seamstress, had instilled in him a relentless work ethic. He had climbed his way out of poverty, working multiple jobs to put himself through school. With a sharp mind and an unyielding drive, he ventured into the world of finance, taking risks that most would have run away from. His calculated gambles paid off, and soon he was building an empire. Real estate, tech startups, and global investments. Everything he touched seemed to turn to gold. But it wasn't just his fortune that made Sebastian the man he was. It was Alice. She had been with him from the very beginning. She had been his anchor in a world that often felt like it was spinning out of control. They met in college, two young souls with big dreams. Alice immediately became the light in his life. She was the one who had believed in him even when he doubted himself. She was there when he made his first million and when he faced his first setback. Through every success and every failure, she stood by his side, never once doubting him. Their life together had been one of perfection, or as close to it as anyone could hope to reach. They had traveled the world, from the sunny beaches to the snowy peaks of the lands. They traveled to wherever their hearts desired. Their days were filled with laughter and their nights with passion. They enjoyed lavish parties in their huge mansion and quiet evenings in their secluded country estate. Every moment was a celebration of the life they had built together. But it wasn't just the extravagance that defined their relationship. It was the deep, unbreakable bond they shared. They understood each other in a way that words could never capture. A connection that had only deepened over the years they spent in each other's company. As the decades passed, their love never faded. In fact, it seemed to grow stronger and stronger with the passage of time. They had weathered every storm together, emerging on the other side with a love that was unshakable. They had often joked that they were living in their own fairy tale, one that would never end. But fate had other plans. On the morning of their 40th anniversary, Sebastian had woken up to find Alice already dressed, with a playful smile on her lips. She had kissed him on the forehead, a lingering touch that now felt like a farewell. "I'll be back soon," she had said softly, her voice laced with the warmth that had always comforted him. "I have a little errand to run, and then we will spend the rest of the day together. Tonight is going to be very special. I am heading out to pick up a special surprise for you." He had smiled at her, still half asleep, and mumbled something about looking forward to it. He hadn't thought much of it at the time. After all, they had always been surprising each other, finding new ways to keep their love alive after so many years. Alice had gone out, intending to buy him a gift, a rare, antique watch that he had once admired in passing. It was to be a symbol of their time together, of the years they had spent building a life that was the envy of many. But she never came back. The phone call came just as the morning was getting ready to end. His thoughts were still filled with the plans they had made to celebrate their anniversary. There had been an accident. The voice on the other end had said, "Alice is in the hospital. It is serious." Sebastian's heart pounded as he raced through the city streets, his mind engulfed in chaotic thoughts and fears. The usually comforting sound of the car's engine was drowned out by the conflict in his head, a storm of emotions that he couldn't seem to control. His driver, sensing the urgency, expertly navigated the traffic, but to Sebastian, the journey felt agonizingly slow. Every red light, every pause, brought the awareness that time was slipping through his fingers, and with it, any chance of being there for Alice at this critical time. He had received the call just moments earlier, yet he could not even remember the exact word, just the panic tone, the cold, hard facts that had hit him like a freight train. His mind raced as he tried to make sense of it all. How could this be happening? Just that morning, they had been planning their anniversary celebration, laughing about the years that had passed and the memories they had shared. Now nothing was certain, and the life they had built together felt fragile, as if it could crumble at any moment. He couldn't help but think of their last conversation, how she had smiled at him, her eyes sparkling with mischief as she teased him about the surprise she had planned. She had kissed him softly before leaving, promising she wouldn't be long. Now, all he could think about was the irony of it all, how she had been on her way to make their anniversary special, and now she was fighting for her life.